Hey, nice balance.
It's the underground market, baby. Take a ride on my carpet, baby. Casey chain that window pane. I'ma show you.
I guess this can be my first real official moto vlog. So here it is. This is the 2023 Road Glide ST. Red Rock Harley out here in Las Vegas. Had it shipped down to Arizona to get it custom painted. So this is my new bike. So far, I'm loving it. I'm hitting about 1,500 miles on it right now. This whole video is gonna be discussing kind of things that I've noticed with this bike and compare it to the lowrider. So gonna point out things that I like, point out things that I don't like. So yeah, let's get into it. One thing that I have noticed about this bike is where they put the turn signal indicator. It's kind of weird. Like sometimes when I first got it, I was always kind of looking for it. Like, is my turn signal on? Is it off? All right, so one thing, I'm gonna start off with a complaint. One thing that I can complain about is, so the Road Glide STs are set up for only the rider. They are not set up with even the little speed nut for a saddleman seat. So the solo seat they put on there has like no backing to it, and at least for me, backing this thing with that solo seat was very difficult. So I still plan on doing Öhlins +2 up front and Öhlins rear. I had Legends on my lowrider and I had zero complaints with them. I think it was a great suspension, but I figured this bike, it's a fresh build, it's something new, and I kind of want to go all out with this one. Oh, that's not a Ranger. Oh man, he just gave me a heart attack. This truck looks like it's a Ranger. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier with backing. It's so much easier with a saddleman seat on it. I thought you were a Ranger when you came up behind me. I was like, oh no.
He probably thinks I'm a Ranger. That's why I flashed you at you.
And then I was looking and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy. So one of the things I'm still getting used to with this bike is RDRS. So that's got traction control, it's got the ABS, it's got rain mode, it's got all those things on it. The lowrider didn't have any of that. So traction control is a little bit weird for me. Sometimes I find myself fighting it a little bit. I'm pretty used to spinning the back tire and losing a little bit of traction. That's okay with me. But the RDRS kicks in and sometimes, you know, you're fighting it a little. I did ride a little bit with the rain mode on and definitely changes throttle response. I think it does make your traction control just a little bit more sensitive and adjust your ABS sensitivity as well. So RDRS is something that I'm still kind of getting used to. One thing that I will say and I will compliment is the cable clutch on this bike feels really nice. It is still stock clutch and primary and all of that. My lowrider, I had a Evolution Industries clutch pack in there with a different pressure plate and a one-finger lever kit to kind of lighten everything up. So part of the RDRS is it does have linked braking. So the linked braking kicks in on the extreme braking situations. So if you grab up on front brake really hard, it's automatically going to brake your rear wheel for you. That's something that I've activated a few times just to kind of see how it feels. It is interesting. I didn't have it on the lowrider, so that's a new adjustment for me. It's a great safety feature, I think. Some riders aren't going to like it. I think safety features are great. I know some riders aren't going to want them, especially riders that are coming from older baggers or older bikes that didn't have those electronics. Some of those guys may not want them, but I think it's a great safety feature. I've used it a few times. You know, ideally, you don't want to get yourself into a situation where you need to use it, but it's there and it'll automatically kick in should you need it. So, something to get used to. So one thing that I have noticed is with these footboards, your feet sit a little bit more forward compared to the lowrider. My lowrider, my feet just went straight down. On this one, it's a little bit forward. Not too much to where I don't like it. I'm not a fan of forward controls. I do plan on doing a mid control kit, which is going to scoot it back just a little bit to kind of where the cam chest is going to be at. That's where your foot position will be. Personally, I like that. That's what feels comfortable to me. That's what I'm used to riding on. So that's something that's on the list of things to do. So one of the things that I noticed going from the lowrider to the bagger is the engine vibration is a little bit more. It's actually visible. My lowrider, once that bike was on, you didn't really see the engine move that much. You do feel it a little bit in the seat compared to the lowrider. Now that I'm looking at all the baggers, it seems to be like a normal thing. So I don't think there's any kind of negative to it, but it is just something that I've noticed, something that I thought I would highlight. But when the bike is running, you do notice the engine move just a little bit more compared to the lowrider. So we're on to another day on the 23 Road Glide ST. So want to ride around town a little bit and kind of bring up some things that I've noticed. Starting to put together a pretty balanced review in my opinion. I do have some things that I don't like about this bike, but they're very, very small compared to all the things that I do like. So gonna ride around, we're gonna talk about some things, and I'm gonna try and get some of those dislikes on camera so you guys can see it. Now remember, I'm coming from a 21 lowrider S with a 114, had a little bit of engine work done to it. Primary side was all built out. So this is a stock 117. Everything is the same. Only thing I've really changed out is I put on a saddleman seat. My main complaint with that solo seat is when I went to back it, there was nothing for me to put my weight into. So backing the bike was always kind of difficult, especially if you're going up a little bit of a hill or a grade. You're sliding all over that seat, you're gonna end up on the rear fender. So that saddleman made a huge difference. Other thing that I've done is I deleted the rear turn signals and I put in the Custom Dynamics Pro Beam fillers with the module in there. I think it cleans it up pretty nicely. Next thing that's got to go is this horrible exhaust system. It sounds like a sewing machine, and you can feel it just when you get on the throttle. That engine's just kind of choking. So definitely got to get that out of there and go to a 2-in-1 system. I'm thinking HPI or Fuel Moto Contender. Haven't really decided just yet. The other thing I want to point out is with this air cleaner and these footboards, if you're a little bit taller than I am, your leg and knee is probably going to run into this. If I scoop my foot all the way forward, I can feel my knee kind of hitting in here like that. So just a couple things. Probably going to change out the air cleaner as well, but we'll see how it all kind of shakes out. All right, so one of the things that I kind of want to highlight with this RDRS, one of the features is it has hill stop control. So sitting here like this, if you grab up on your front brake really hard, you will see that I have this light that comes on here. Now this isn't very much of a grade, but I just kind of want to show you. So it's holding the bike with the brakes. So it'll hold it for you, and then as soon as you start to let out clutch and get into just a little bit of throttle, it's gonna let that brake off. So that's kind of nice. If you're stuck at a traffic light, I know some of the on-ramps and off-ramps out here, the grades on them are really high. So see, now we got the green light. So boom, I go into throttle, let out on my clutch a little bit, and it comes right off. So I kind of like the little things like that. So I ended up changing my camera position a little bit on the Simpson. The one thing about the Road Glide is because the fairing is so big, where I had it before, you really couldn't see over the fairing, and that's with me sitting upright a little bit more, trying to get the camera over it. So I did change it a little bit, so hopefully it's a nice balanced view. You can kind of see what's going on here, and you can see what's going on the road. So it took me about 15 minutes of screwing around with these pieces, but I finally figured it out. So another thing I've noticed is compared to my lowrider, I do have these heat diffuser fins, but I definitely feel a lot more heat coming off the rear cylinder compared to the lowrider. So I don't know, at least that's how it feels right now. Not like right now, but I have noticed it, that I feel a little bit more heat kind of in my legs. I gotta say, I'm just really impressed with how nice this paint job is. In the sun, you can see all the metal flake that's in there. The lines and pinstriping is just perfect. I mean, it's beautiful. On this bike, I'm still under 2,000 miles on it, but I have noticed that finding neutral is a little bit difficult. That's probably because transmission's brand new. I never ever had an issue finding neutral on my lowrider. Typically how I did it is I would find neutral coming up to like a stoplight, and I would click into it and just kind of coast into the stoplight. On this bike, I always end up going back into first, and it's kind of a pain to find neutral. I'll get it every once in a while, but I mean, pretty much every time with the lowrider, I ended up in neutral, just no problems. Just gonna squeeze in here in between these two sport bikes. There's a big guy on a little bike, and I'm a little guy on a big bike. Love it. Suspension feels really nice when going over stuff on the road, like these lane markers, or you know, potholes or manhole covers, whatever. It just eats up everything on the road. And I am just, you know, doing my own thing over here, merging lanes. But as far as like curving and, you know, banking the bike really hard, the front end does have a little bit of wobble to it. Now, my stock suspension on my lowrider, it was the same thing. That wobble went away once I did the Legends, so just something to keep in mind. But as far as like bumps and just overall like road comfort, it's really nice. I mean, it just eats up everything, which I'm really kind of surprised, because stock Harley suspensions aren't the greatest. Oh, now it's 104. So, get out there and go ride your motorcycle. There's a sign up there that says flood water. And if I have to go through standing water, I'm gonna be pissed. Well, something's going on. Oh, that's bad. Oh, they got the stretcher out and everything. Holy shit. God. That's bad. Hopefully everybody's all right there. Looks like they're ripping the door open to pull somebody out. Oh, wait a minute. I can't turn left here? Fuck you. I'm turning left here. There is no shade whatsoever. Gotta love it. Wow. I have just left the house and I'm already sweating. It's another day. We are under an excessive heat warning for like the next week. So during the day we're getting up to temperatures of like 112, 113. So it's making filming a little bit uncomfortable. But 4:45 and just out here gonna get it done. Just like that, we went from 111 degrees to 79. Beautiful up here. A lot of people this weekend, but absolutely gorgeous. We had a little behind the scenes of filming content. Gonna do a U-turn right here. And it's not full handlebar lock, but whatever. Man, I gotta say, this bike, I get why they call it a road glide. Like, I get where the glide comes from, because man, it is just like incredibly comfortable. And alright, so doing a lot of content, a lot of going to different spots and then, you know, moving to another spot. The bugs this year, I don't know how it is for where you guys are at, but the bugs this year are just brutal. I mean, I can't remember the last time that it was like this amount of bugs. You're almost like inhaling them. I really can't wait to do T-bars. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Couple different setups I'm looking at: Performance Machine, Kraus, Lucky Dave's, LA Choppers. I mean, there's lots of different options out there. For the bagger guys out there, let me know what your preferred setup is. If you got a bagger and you went to T-bars, let me know what height and kind of what brand and setup you guys are using. Now, this is my first bagger, so I definitely gonna do T-bars, but need to figure out which ones. So let me know in the comments below what your preferred setup is. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try and piece everything together. It's been quite the adventure filming this first moto vlog, so obviously we'll get better as things go. But now we got the rig set up for the GoPro. Everything's working smoothly now, so this first one's gonna be kind of a mess and all over the place, but we'll figure it out. All right, y'all, make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you on the next moto vlog. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hey, nice balance.
It's the underground market, baby. Take a ride on my carpet, baby. Can't see chain that window pane. I'ma show you my sparkles, baby.